Yo, what's up? We out here again. This is take two. Buff Missionary, another video for you. And I say take two because I just spent the last 10 minutes recording a video that I didn't even have the microphone on for. So that was a fail. But, anyways, let's jump into this. Not trying to take a lot of your time with this one here. I want to talk specifically about this realization that I've had over the last several months. I have been thinking more, doing more reflection, introspection, all that good stuff, because I'll be graduating with my master's in a week. And it's like, I got to figure out what's coming next. And I want to make sure that it's something that I'll find purpose, fulfillment, meaning in. So I've been taking time to write down and get very specific about things that I want to be a part of my experience moving forward. And I wasn't really sure what that experience would look like. The degree that I'm doing is one that a specific profession typically does, and I have zero interest in being in that specific profession. So I'm kind of carving my own path with that, and I'm okay with that. It's exciting. But one of the biggest things that I came across in my reflection was this idea that a lie that I was always telling myself. And if you resonate with this, let me know. I'm sure it's something that many of us can relate to. But going through my experience getting to this point, I never really set any targets for anything. It was kind of like, whatever happens, happens. It is what it is. And if I can do something at least to a minimal level, I'll consider that a dub. And what this mentality has actually earned me is proficiency in a lot of different areas, for sure. There are a lot of different things I can do. There's a lot of different hobbies, areas where I have interest in, a lot of areas I spend time in. I would say there's very few things I would consider myself to be great in, if anything, even though there are a lot of different things I can do. I'll give you an example with music. So I can play the trumpet, I can play the piano, I can play the saxophone, I can play the guitar, I can play the trombone, I could play a number of different instruments, right? And I could do a special music with any of these instruments. I could perform live with them, but am I great on any of them? No. So among my friends, I have one that calls me the Jote. You have the GOAT, which is the greatest of all time, but the Jote is the jack of all trades, and that's what I'm known as. And it is cool to a degree to know that people recognize you have a lot of different talents and a lot of different abilities. That's great. But what it's really a reflection of is the fact that I've never taken the opportunity to set a specific goal and aim for that and to really give it all that I have to see how good I could become. And throughout my life, I've always defined this as the fear of success. I would always say this because to me it sounded really cool. Philosophically, it was on another level, right? Oh, I'm afraid of success. And even saying it back again now and in thinking leading up to this video, in the last video fail that I recorded, and saying it again now, it just sounds dumber and dumber. I would tell everyone I'm afraid of success. It's not failure. I'm not afraid of failure. I'm afraid of succeeding. Why? I would explain it like this. Well, if I reach a certain level in something and I become so good and so great at it, then everyone's going to expect me to continue to do it. And I don't want that kind of pressure to have to live up to continue to perform for all these different people who have these expectations because of my greatness and because of my success. How lame is that? But that's what I would say. That was the lie that I would tell myself to keep myself from really putting in the work that it would take to get to that high level, or to put in the work, not get the result I was looking for, and to feel like a failure. That's really what it was. It was a lie. It was a cop-out. It was me doing my best dodgeball impression to avoid having to put in any real work to accomplish any real goals. So when I look back at my life and the fact that I would spend 3 years in this place, 4 years over here, 3 more years here, 4 years over there, and have to switch things up, even though I was pretty good at the different areas where I was, because I wasn't living in a true sense of purpose, meaning, fulfillment, because I hadn't set any specific targets, it made it very hard for me to find those things in these different areas where I was living and working. What I realize is, if I want to have staying power and consistency in my life moving forward, The only way I can do that is if I really channel the ideas of purpose, meaning, fulfillment, and if I'm willing to set a target. I was reading some Jordan Peterson recently, and one of the chapters in his book, Beyond Order, talks about this idea of aiming and setting a target and how he combines an idea that I had thought before but never used it in a practical way. The idea that you can't really lose. I know you've heard me say this before, but life isn't about winning and losing like we think it is. Life is about winning and learning. Where if you win and you achieve, if you get the outcome you thought you were, that's great. But even if you don't, it's not a loss. It's just a learning experience that can help you figure out what better to do the next time. The thing is, it can only be a learning experience if there's going to be a next time. And there can only be a next time if you're actually looking towards advancing to a goal that you've set. If you don't set any goals, and if you don't have any expectations, then it can be a loss. There's nothing to learn from it because there's nothing to apply the learning or the experience to. It just is what it is in that vacuum, in that box, and that failure doesn't accomplish you anything except discourage you to think that you don't want to try anything new anymore. But when you have a goal, when you set your purpose to something, when you find your meaning in an objective, a specific objective, you have to be specific. This is what I'm learning lately. You have to be specific. You can't just wish for great to happen. What does that mean? What does it look like? If you don't define those things, you are setting yourself up for failure without learning. So like I said, I'm graduating in a week. I'm going to have my master's degree. And I'm getting close to figuring out what my purpose looks like, how I intend to find my meaning and my fulfillment in my life. It's not something I can afford to let happen by chance. And if you feel like you're letting yours happen by chance, I want to encourage you. Grab the reins, set an objective, set a goal, a specific goal, a target that you want to do. Talk to people if you got to figure out what it is, because I'll be honest, many of us don't know. I'm sitting here right now and I didn't know for the longest time. It's literally only been in the last 6 months or so that I would say these things have started to come together for me. It's been a process. But it's doable. And I think it's necessary if we want to have fulfillment and to have success in our lives. If we want to feel like we're living a purpose-driven life, a life full of meaning, we have to have specific goals. So here's the thing. I'm setting some very specific goals. I got a board over here. I can show it to you right now. But coming soon, there are some big things that I'm working on. I'm setting a big target. All right? I'm setting a target and I need to flesh out the details. One thing that my mind works really well at is getting these grand ideas, and then when it comes to the execution of it, they say the devil's in the details, and when it comes to that stuff, I'm trying to avoid the devil. But I have to embrace that. I have to embrace those details if I'm going to figure out those steps that I can take to achieve the goal. But I'm setting a specific target to aim for. And it's exciting because all the things that I want to do in my life, what I thought were random ideas, are coming together in a picture that I never saw before. And it's only coming together because I've decided to set a specific target. Listen, I don't want to live a mediocre life. I don't want y'all to live a mediocre life. I don't want you to feel like you can't achieve more because you can. And I'm not saying this to try to be like some guru or anything like that. It's this simple. Take the time to figure out what it is that you find your purpose in, where you find your meaning, what's going to fulfill you. Once you can define those, then you can define and start to put together what your target should be, what you should be aiming for in life, and then aim for it. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail, because even in there is some learning. If you miss, you may not hit the target exactly the way you want to, but it's a learning experience that can help you to know what not to do the next time, or how to better improve on certain things to get closer to your target. And having that specific goal is what's going to help you. It's what's going to motivate you to keep pushing through, even if you don't get the outcome you want the first time that you do something. That's what I'm excited about. So again, I already took longer on this video than I thought I was, but I guess that's how it goes sometimes. So like, comment, subscribe, share if you have experiences with this thing, um, this fear of failure. It's okay. All right, embrace that as a learning experience. Don't be afraid to set a target to work towards, because I can guarantee you there's a lot of us out here in life that are not even setting targets, and we're just kind of going with the wind like I've been the last several years. And we're not going to find fulfillment in life like that. I don't know what it looks like for each and every one of you, but I know that it's something. And I know that a lot of us are sitting in our houses, in our jobs, in the different things in life we go through, wondering, is this really what I want to do? Why don't I feel like I want to be here? Why does it feel like I'm just working a job and I'm not living and I'm not enjoying the experience that I have? Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to set a specific target that's different and outlandish from what you're doing right now. Don't be afraid to put in the effort to work towards it, because you'll find fulfillment in that experience, even if where you end up isn't exactly where you thought you would, or it doesn't match what you set out to accomplish. You're going to grow from that. I'm going to grow from this, and I'm looking forward to that. Big things coming. So hey, it's the Buff Missionary once again, and we out. Peace.